Morning, everyone. Today I have the honor of speaking to Menachem and Alan. How you guys doing today?
Amazing. Thanks for having us on, Ned.
Great,
Great.
thanks.
Okay, so we've had a great conversation, and you have a very interesting offering in which you bring some advantages which normally were only available to FBA sellers to non-FBA sellers. So tell us a little bit about Labs 3 and what's unique about it in the 3PL space and offerings to a non-Amazon FBA seller.
Elchanan?
Yes. So what we've been building over the last few years, which is a automated 3PL in a lot of the aspects that most people wouldn't believe is possible. One of the main areas we found that we've been able to, overcome hurdles that people generally have done manually is in terms of when they're fulfilling either, MFN fulfilling or FBA prepping shoes and apparel where you might have mixed boxes, mixed pallets, mixed truckloads and trying to get that out, process those either for FBA prep or if you have a bunch of MFN orders to be able to separate, and pick the correct one, ship it to the right place, box it for the right way, label it the right way, palletize it the right way, has become it's a complex process that is either very expensive because of manual labor that's needed or it takes a long time and or there's lots of errors on the back of it. What we've built through a lot of trial and error and through a lot of selling, to be honest, that's where it started. That's my background, has been selling for the last few years, but through selling and through fulfillment is what we've been able to build within our 3PL is the ability that everything is tracked via UPC. So if you connect, anybody who's sending us product to fulfill, to prep, to process, if they send us the UPC of the product, the marketplace they want it prepped for, and be it the FN SKU or any other label that they want for that UPC, we can then, so they'll send us a spreadsheet of it could be 1,000, 2,000, doesn't matter how many different UPCs. If they tell us which UPCs, the quantity, which marketplace, and which label they want it on, we can handle everything else with almost zero error. And the way we do it is we have a software stack that reads the UPC, that connects to the label requirements based on what that spreadsheet that they had sent us is. We feed it through our machines, which reads the UPC. If we just literally feed it through the receiving side of the machine, it will read the UPC, prep it according to the requirements that are needed, and slap the correct label on it on the end of it, and box it the way it's needed and palletize the way it's needed. And then you have quickly, efficiently, with low error, you can have unlimited amounts of mixed SKUs. And that's been one of the largest aspects of our 3PL that people have found very useful.
Right, and how many locations do you have?
So
So we have we
we're built out of one location. We're focused in New Jersey. And thank God we've proven that you don't need massive warehousing to be able to fulfill the amount of like logistical space. We're able to fulfill a massive amount with the space that we have. So we have one location based out of New Jersey at this time.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You had an interesting proposition we spoke about. You said that you could do FBA lending for non-Amazon sellers. How does that work?
So I'll correct that just a bit. It's not just FBA lending, it's lending against any inventory. So if someone were using our inventory or decide to be using our inventory, we're able to provide them essentially what's called an ABL, asset-backed loan. But in the world of ABLs, in the world of lending, there is significant underwriting and terms that come into play. What we're solving here is that we're disrupting a major industry by doing this, is that we provide quick turnaround time. You're talking 3 to 5 days for lending based on inventory sitting in our warehouse. So we determine the liquidation value of that inventory. We underwrite it. We don't need to underwrite your business. We don't need to get into every crevice of your business. And you can use what you want with that money, whether that's for payroll, it's that buying, a new inventory. Ideally, it's you use it wisely to go out and buy more inventory. You have a deal that just came up. The manufacturer is deciding that you need a certain amount in order to get the dollar amount you want in that inventory. at the right price. And so you're leveraging your e-liquid asset and we're making it liquid for you. So you have money tied up sitting in an inventory somewhere. We're creating liquidity for that so you can use for your next deal.
And have you done that before, that you've actually lent people against the inventory in your
Yeah,
3PL?
absolutely. We just secured the last loan this past Friday. It was a $50,000 loan from a great client of ours. It was fantastic. We have a great personal relationship with them. And we underwrote the inventory in a matter of hours, and within a day, he had a term sheet. We happen to know the inventory very well, so it might have been a little quicker than usual, but this was, I'm saying we have quick turnaround time. So as soon as we can underwrite your inventory, assuming that you don't have an existing ABL, and even if you do, we're willing to take it, look at it, and determine what rate you're getting and see if we can compete. Otherwise, we essentially just lend against your existing inventory. So the only caveat is that you would have to be using our 3PL at this time. We are going to be launching a different model later on, but we'll lend against other inventory sitting in third-party warehouses. But right now, we're lending against inventory sitting in our warehouse.
Okay, one final thing. What do you think is the next terrain in third-party selling?
In third-party selling.
Like which marketplace?
Yeah, Temu. I think Temu is, I've been speaking to quite a few reps out there. Anyone who's willing, I'm happy to connect with the rep that I work with. I'm saying every seller can relate to this. You've gotten emails up the wazoo from reps from Temu trying to pick up Amazon sellers or Shopify sellers to cut to Temu. They supposedly have a $40 billion budget. They're a massive whale, and we better pay attention because they're going to corner a certain part of this market. I think people have a perception of them that they are just cheap cheap Chinese goods, and really there's an angle there. And those who pay attention and those who onboard sooner, better, or later are going to find that they're going to improve. And we've seen that. We've seen that from our existing clientele. We're starting to see movement on products, and so. I would highly advise that, and we are also a preferred vendor for Temu. It happens to be so. We're one of the first ones to see that this is truly a whale coming through the waters, and it's a good time to jump on board. And so, if anyone's interested, they can reach out. Also, I'm happy to refer them to our contact there. It's a huge angle that's new to the industry, and that people need to pay attention to it.
Okay, yeah.
Just if I can just tie the three parts that we discussed together, is our business model is perfect for somebody who wants to fulfill, merchant fulfilled, that wants to be out of, possibly out of the Amazon only. You can also fulfill Amazon. If you want to be out of the Amazon only area, you can keep product by Lab3. You can borrow against it while still making it available for sale on Temu, Amazon MFN, etc. And I think that sort of solves an issue, for everybody across all different marketplaces.
Okay, so I appreciate you guys coming on, and I'm going to put a link in the form below. And anybody wants to reach out to Lab3, you'll have the information. And it's been a pleasure meeting you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.